Hello and welcome to Paxton Road TV. I am Sam Spurs for life, and this is your Paxton Road TV reaction show for the game that's just finished. Brighton Hove Albion 0, Tottenham Hotspur 1 at the Amex Stadium. And in the house, as always, Paxton regulars. We have Sid Spurs, Sean Hurt, Darius 3K. Gentlemen, welcome. Yes, back to winning ways. Feel better after, like I said, after what can be only described as a turbulent week, the loss we can say against Arsenal last weekend, and then we didn't get the victory in midweek against Frankfurt. The death of Gian. I was going to say it again. Can you say it for me, Sean, please?
Gian Piero Ventrone.
Gian Piero Ventrone. That's had a major impact, as you can see, emotions all over the place today, and having played in the midweek in a Champions League game away from home, I think, to come back and do what they've done today, I think it's a credit to the team. Changes were made. We asked for changes. We've seen the 3-5-2. We asked, I'll say we, but I'm just going to say it as me, myself. Obviously, I don't want to collectively say we all said that. But I'm saying we've got the change. We've seen the midfield. We've seen the control in the game, which I was asking for from a lot of the times from Conte. Can we control games as opposed to just playing from a shape and then counter-attacking? We controlled that game today. Conte made the right substitutions at the right time. I was saying to Darius, when he made that substitution and he brought, was it Son off? Was that the first one he made when Son came off?
Basuma for
Richarlison. I thought that was a great substitution because what we did was we went from that 3-5-2 to a 3-4-3, but we went back into that defensive control where we had the 5-4-1 and we could then break from that. So he was basically saying to them, come on, you come and attack us. I think we're defensively solid today, and I think we're going to be able to absorb all the pressure. And they did. I thought Pierre Højbjerg was fantastic today. Although they gave man of the match to Session, I thought Højbjerg was absolutely fantastic. Again, similar to what Xhaka had, allowed him to go a little bit further up to the pitch. And I'm not saying I'm comparing to Xhaka, but what I'm saying is he played a little bit further up the pitch. He was press resistant today. He's, little tricks and flicks to get away from people. He played the right things. He was defended well. I thought him and Bentancur, and obviously Basuma as well, but them two today were brilliant. And I think we did enough. 1-0 to the Tottenham. 1-0 to the Tottenham. 1-0 to the Tottenham. I'm liking that. I'm definitely liking that. Sid, what did you think of the game today?
You know what? I think we needed a performance, didn't we? And we discussed this yesterday. We did say that we'll get a performance purely because of the passing of GVP or GPV. And first half, I think, you know what? This was a game of two halves. First half, I think we were really good. The formation was solid. The press, the way we was passing the ball around, just moving it around, creating and that. And I think it really good. Second half, I think was quite poor. In fact, I think we just sat back. We allowed them into the game, and they had a lot more of the ball. And every time, like you said, Sam, we done well defending and that. But every time they came at us, they were finding spaces after spaces, and we weren't closing them gaps down. It was like we were just sat back, letting them come at us. But to be fair, I thought they'd sneak one at the end because the amount of possession we kept giving them, and then the way we keep losing these stupid balls. It's a simple pass towards the end, and Richarlison was a culprit many times. Just clear the ball, But you know what? It's been a difficult week. Champions League, and then this game, and then the passing as well. So I think well-deserved points, and I think it's going to be a massive, massive bonus now for us to win this game. We're only a point behind them lot going into tomorrow's game, and then we've got Champions League on Wednesday. So it's a massive plus.
Well, I hope I'm still on the screen clearly, but I'm going to have to just come out and duck out. But yeah, Sean, what did you think of the game? I was just going to come out, so you just take over, tell me what your thoughts of the game were.
Sean, you're on mute. No, can't hear you, Sean.
I muted myself too. My
Okay,
God.
now
Anyway,
you're on.
I think I was going to say I kind of concur with you, Sid, in that I think the first half, well, the first 30 minutes of the first half, I'd say we were in control of the game. But Brighton then started to cut through our press And for the last 15 minutes, we were kind of a bit hanging on, I thought, and that continued in the second half. Yeah, I could see why, although Basuma was picked, I can see why he's not getting a game, because he was a bit indisciplined. He's got another yellow card, stupid yellow card, for an unnecessary challenge. Obviously, maybe trying too hard, but, you know, it's ridiculous that he's had 2 appearances and 2 yellow cards. You know, that's not his game. You know, so I'm really surprised at that. But obviously, he feels himself under a lot of pressure to try and justify that he gets a place.
Sure.
Højbjerg was excellent. Højbjerg was excellent today. Sam was absolutely right. He was probably man of the match. Although I did feel Sessegnon was really good as well. And big up to Doherty. He looked more like a Conte right wing back than we've had all season. And I'm not having it, these people dismissing him.
I know.
He actually looked like his first touch was not very good. He conceded a goal kick, but he recovered from that. And I thought he was more of a Conte fullback than we've seen all season. So I'm really pleased to see he took his chance today.
Yeah, Sean, you know what I was just going to say on what you've picked up on Basuma? Man just needs to relax and just play his game. He's trying to impress too many people. And that's why, you know, he's always like, am I doing the right thing here? Am I doing the right thing? Should I do this? Should I do that? Just play your game. Just play your game and everything will come in its place. Sam, are you back?
I'm back. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you all right?
There was a bit of technical difficulties. No, my screen had frozen. I didn't know what was going on. Anyway, Darius, have you given your assessment of the game? Go ahead, give us your assessment of the game before I just give us the stats and stuff.
Maybe after listening to you guys, I'm a little bit too happy about that result, because I thought that was absolutely amazing performance. Like one of the best performances we've had this season. Not only because it proved to me that we are resilient and we can hold on to leads, and you know, players actually, for example, like Sessegnon and like Doherty, have proven to me that they need to play in order for systems to work. I actually think that, to be brutally honest with you, Brighton away, to do that, bearing in mind they drew Liverpool 3-3 at Anfield, I think that's an amazing performance. I can't really fault much. Yeah, sure, and I agree with you. I definitely think they did cut through a few times, and it was like sort of periods of games where they had a lot of attacks in a short amount of time, but nothing really came. You know, Lloris didn't really have to make any important saves. He wasn't really challenged that much. I really do think that we didn't look that threatened for the whole of the game. So overall, I'm over the moon with this performance. I think this is an absolutely amazing performance. I think Højbjerg man of the match. I also think that probably you're right about Bentancur, and I also think that Romero was one of the best players as well, apart from that little mistake at the end. I don't actually think Sessegnon was amazing, but it is what it is. I mean, he was good, but he wasn't amazing. I think defensively he needs to learn a lot more. It looks like he doesn't want to defend a lot of the times, but I'm buzzing. I think that was a great performance, one of the best performances of the season.
And just to say, he's back. He hasn't been kidnapped by Putin. He's been missing longer than Sugar. But he is back with us in the house.
You are, yes.
Nay, not Sugar.
I had to double check it was Mike. I couldn't. I was like,
I'm having issues getting on my laptop. I'm on my phone at the moment, so hopefully the signal's all right and stuff. But
the hustler's back, everyone. The
hustler's back.
He's back. Mike, welcome back. Give us your thoughts on that performance today and the result in the game.
I actually didn't think it was a solid performance in terms of, like, we dug in, we got the 3 points away from home, which against Brighton, which I think Darius alluded to, isn't an easy place at the moment to go and get 1 point, let alone 3 points. So from that respect, I thought we dug in well and got the 3 points that we much needed. Would I say it was our best performance? I honestly don't think it's our best performance. I think we've played better. Southampton, I thought we've played better, and I thought Fulham as well were 2 games that we were much better in over the course of 90 minutes. But it was a dogged performance. It's just sometimes like they looked a little bit lethargic in the second half. I think after about 60, 65 minutes, we looked a little bit. There's a few players that looked like they were blowing a bit. So to as I say, to come away with a clean sheet against Brighton in their own backyard, there's no complaints really. You can't complain with a 1-0 win away from home, can you? So
I think the last time they lost at home was to us, by the way.
No, I was just going to say, given all the circumstances, I'll let you come in and take your point in a minute, Darius. Given all the circumstances that we've had, and I said it at the beginning of the show, Arsenal defeat, that took it out of us. Let's not get it twisted. Going into that game against Frankfurt, it was always going to be a bit of a hangover. We've got a draw out of that one. And we all said in the preview show that this one was going to be a toughie. It's not going to be an easy game. Brighton have played well this season. Obviously, their result at Anfield proved that, they're decent. And obviously where they are in the table shows that they're a decent team. I think for us to come off the back of a Champions League game, the death of Venturi, it was always going to Ventroni, should I say. It was always going to be a tough ask. Emotionally, that probably drained a lot of the players. It definitely drained them. You know what I mean? And emotionally going into that game, it was all about being professional. It was about, not letting all of that get to you, like being professional. And from minute one, what I saw from the players was, we're going to do this professionally. Yeah, they made some mistakes. Yeah, Doherty at times had a couple of little bits of positional sense. But what I can say is the effort was there to do everything that was asked from them. They got back into the shape. They pressed when they needed to press. They didn't let Brighton play through the middle. Brighton looked like the away team in the game today. And that was the control aspect that I've been crying for in games away from home when you've had a big, a big old Champions League game. You've got to control games better. You can't just play from a shape in that 5-4-1 and let teams pepper you. So that's why I was impressed. And the substitutions were great. Well done, Conte. That's what I'm saying. Well done, Conte. Darius, go on. So what were you going to say?
No, I just wanted to say the only time Brighton's lost, or the last time Brighton's lost at home, is to us when we beat them. Is it 2-0? I think.
2-0. Yeah.
So yeah,
Sure.
they aren't to mess around at their ground or away from home. They're a very, very good team. And the only reason they've got a new manager, who is also a very, very good manager, is because the other one went to Chelsea. So I think people will not realise that, this result is a lot better, given as well the fact that we, lost to Arsenal. You have to come back and you can't go on a losing run, losing points to teams. You have to get back. Now we're a point behind them and they play Liverpool tomorrow. If they lose to Liverpool, people are going to look a lot more at this result and think, wow, that was a very good result. Because 1 point behind Arsenal, what will be 2-3 points behind City as well. I think that's pretty good. I think that's a pretty good position to be in.
Sean, I know we talked about in the preview show that to go away to Brighton, the way Brighton were playing. Do you think that this result, we might look back at this result and maybe, depending on what happens in the rest of the season, as a bit of a pivotal one? Because had we lost today, the clause would have been out. Everybody would be saying, there would have been the excuse, was it the death of the coach? There would have been so many questions asked. But I think a lot of questions were also answered today. How do you think this game might be looked at in a few weeks' time?
Yeah, I think we can't deny winning. Taking 3 points from Brighton is going to be difficult this season. We've, as I say, for a large part of the first half, we were in control. I can't go with you, Sam, when it's control in the second half, because they were peppering us. There's no doubt about it. If Kane had scored that chance that he had in the second half, it would have put it to bed. But until we scored the second goal, we never looked like we were gonna. I never felt comfortable enough to say that we've got this game in the bag. And as Sid has indicated, the number of chances we gave them. Richarlison came on as a substitute and gave away 2 opportunities on the edge of our own box. That's not a good substitution. That's not thinking about how to close out a game. Giving chances, soft chances away as well. And then what was Romero doing with that free kick near the end as well? Honestly, they really put me through the ringer, I must admit, in the second half. And yes, it's a great result. It's a brilliant result. And at the end of the season, we'll just say we won away at Brighton, and we'll look at the other teams that have won away at Brighton, and there won't be very many. So it's a good chance. the emotion of this week, you could see it in the pre-match 1 minute's applause. I mean, Son looked like he was going to break into tears, you know, in that, you know, and so they were, you know, there's obviously some emotions. You saw it in the pre-match interview with Conte as well. He's had a tough week, not just with what's football, but the fact he's lost a very long-term friend. You know, someone he's worked with as a player as well as a coach. So it's been a tough week for Conte. I'm big up to our fans today because I thought they were immense, backing him, making him feel, you know, valued. And yeah, well done to our travelling support today. You know, they're usually very good and all, but they were brilliant today.
Brilliant. This is, I think it's a first win away from home in the last 6 or 7 games. Sid, how did you see the performance? Like I said, I'm kind of not in disagreement with you, Sean, but like I said, I just think when you have to do what we have to do, given all the circumstances, I expected Brighton to have much more of the ball today. I expected to have, although when we get to the stats, and I probably should get them up first, but let me do that. That might be the thing to do, and then we can have a chat around that. So where are we? Share the screen. Here we go, gentlemen. Okay, so stats-wise, it said, although to me, I think we had more possession in the first half. I think you're right. In the second half, we did have less of the ball. Let me just get the banners off the bottom here. Let's say 60% to 40%. They had 4 shots on target. We had 3. They had 14 shots in total. We had 842 touches to our 644. Other keys in there. I'm not going to go through all of those. But, you know, the important ones are, you know, the important stat, I guess, for the whole game is the 1-0 scoreline. Sid,
Yep.
Tell me about, you know, looking at those stats, does that give you any other perspective on the game, or does it still give you that sort of thought that, you know, you thought Brighton were well in this game? Because I thought we controlled it. I really did.
I think we controlled it in the first half. I think first half we done really well. We just, you know, the formation worked, picking up play, breaking up play, going forward. Even the wing backs were getting forward and that. Second half, I don't know what happened second half, but I thought we were pretty poor second half. Nothing going forward. I think we had 1 shot on target, which was the Son disallowed goal. The passing, simple passes, they just couldn't even get together. You know, misplaying passes again. And I think they brought a stat up as well, I think halfway through the second half, about we're the 4th team to have conceded the most shots on goal. And the 3 above us are like Nottingham Forest and whoever else are at the bottom. And we were 4th. So that's a little bit of alarming.
Is that shots on target against us or just shots at our goal? Because I don't care about shots. If shots off target, I pepper the goal. If you're not going to hit the target, shoot all day long. But it's the ones that are on target that would worry me more.
On target. I'm sure it was one on target. I think it was on target. But I think the other thing as well is second half we set back at them. But every time they come, I don't understand. And it must be a Conte thing, but we're just dropping too deep. And we're just allowing them to come up to our penalty box. And there's like 8, 9 of our players. There's about 3 of their players. And they still somehow manage to get the ball against a better team on a better day. Like, obviously, Man City's or somebody like that. I think they would have carved us open. But given the circumstances, especially, and I think we're going to see this a lot this season, when we've got a Champions League game midweek, the game that follows on a Saturday or a Sunday, I think it's going to be a dogged performance. And I think Conte will be happy to get a 1-0 or, you know, not winning it convincingly. I don't think it'll be a champagne performance. It'll be a dogged performance where we aim to get the results and you can start singing your 1-0 to the Tottenham, Sam. And I think that's what's going to happen. The weeks where we don't have Champions League is where the games where we'll play and we might see a bit more entertainment. But I'm not holding my breath. But I think overall, given the circumstances and that, I think Brighton done all right, but I don't think they were at the races, to be honest. I think Trossard had a very quiet game today. And you keep him quiet, then you've got a very good chance to win the game.
I'm going with Marlon on this one. Remember, we played midweek, lads, so let's not be harsh. And on top of that, Piero died in midweek as well. Yeah. So they probably had no preparation time of any sort. For them to go out and play like they did today, and get a 1-0 away from home to a team that ain't lost since they lost to us back in March. I can't put into words how much that performance. You're always going to get a team that's playing like Brighton going to get opportunities to score. You're always going to get them playing. I was kind of concerned when they were doing their intricate play, but I don't really remember Hugo Lloris pulling many worldies out today. I don't remember that. I know we had a lot of blocks in front of him, but Mike, what's your thoughts?
The only way I felt that they might nick a goal was a ball in the box, header.
Yeah.
Other than that, with most of their shots were in or around just outside the box. Danny Welbeck, he'd have to take something of a worldie to beat Hugo Lloris from Danny Welbeck. I mean, you saw him take that shot. I don't know if he was just inside the box, but he's absolutely spooned it when a Premier League striker should be at the target from the distance that he was out. I honestly didn't feel like Brighton were going to score unless they got a lucky cross into the box and someone like Dunk, who's 7 foot tall, might knock it into the goal. But I honestly didn't. I wasn't too concerned. Like with Brighton just knocking it around, as long as they're playing in front of us and not behind us, they can have the ball all day long. They weren't causing any damage. So, and away from home, you've got to expect Brighton to have a lot of the possession. So again, and we looked lethargic in the second half. I felt we looked lethargic. So whether we were poor or whether we were poor because we were just tired, I don't know. Everyone's got their own opinion on that, but again, it comes back to that factor of we haven't conceded. We've won the game, and it's away from home against a team that's sat below us. So it's a big 3 points, and you just got to take it for what it is, on its own merits, and go into the next game looking to build on a run of consecutive wins, hopefully. And now we're like, if Arsenal lose tomorrow against Liverpool, then we're only 1 point away from them now, is it?
So if Liverpool lose or Arsenal lose, that's win-win for us. A draw, everything tomorrow is a win-win for us because we put the 3 points. Sure, and I feel like how you felt on Tuesday when you was like flabbergasted by what I was saying. This is how I feel about this. I'm flabbergasted by how you lot can't see that this result today and the performance was absolutely fantastic.
But Sam, you've gone overboard. You said we controlled that game. You said we controlled that game. We did not control that game. For half an hour, we controlled the game.
Let me just explain when I say you can control the game in terms of your possession, which we did in the first half. You can also control the game.
No, for 30 minutes in the first half.
Okay. Brighton still had some possession. What I'm saying, in that second half, Conte could almost see, right, we've got this 1-0. I'm going to keep this 1-0. I've got Richarlison to bring on. I'm going to bring Basuma off. He's on a yellow card anyway. I'm going to go back into our 3-4-3, but I'm going to play from a 5-4-1. We were controlling defensively. We were saying to them, can you break us down? Did they break us down? No. Did they have opportunities? Of course they did. But that was the gamble. The gamble to take off a player that was on a yellow card was the right one to do. Because if he'd have got a red today, we'd have been up in arms. Conte, well done for that. You also brought on Richarlison.
Why didn't he replace like for like? Why wasn't Skip brought on?
Because, this is what I'm saying. So I thought that as well at an instant. But then when he brought Skip on, I said to Darius as well, bring him on 5 minutes to go, bring Harry Kane off. Now, Harry Kane came off because of the injury anyway, but he brought Skip on. So we still had control because we still had elements in attack in Perisic and Richarlison, but we had Perisic, who's a better defender than Son. So when we are playing from that 3-4-3, if you get caught upfield, Perisic can defend better than Son. Conte, well done. If you're watching, son, well done today. Don't listen to this lot.
And the fact of the matter is, if it's only a 1-0 win away from home and we get those type of wins, I'll take them all day long.
Have I said anything else? I'll take the fixture, but please don't overcook the pudding and say we controlled that game, because we did not control that game. Oh, wow. We played very well, but we didn't.
Michael Ben.
I think you can control the game without the possession.
Mike, you're next. Let me just read this out. Sam is 100% right. We played them like a fiddle. Lloris wasn't tested through. We let them build up and they had no cutting edge. Trossard got 3 at Anfield last week and he wasn't even mentioned. There you go. Respect Michael Bennett. Michael Bennett, well done. Hotspur Hustler.
I was just going to say, you can control a game even without possession, because if the team's shape and their positional play is as you would hope it would be, as in tight and solid, you can control the result and the game without the ball. And I think that's probably what Sam's probably trying to allude to, is the fact that even without possession, we were still in control of the game, because we weren't getting sort of cut open, or we weren't sort of being brought, like enticed out of position or anything like that. Our shape was, I thought our shape was very good throughout the whole 90, and I think that's probably if you look at our results away from home and our performances away from home, it's very rarely that we are getting carved open. I know you can say, well, Arsenal, but I still think if we had 11 men on I know it's another game, but if we had 11 men on the pitch, I think we would have got a point out of that. But that game aside, generally speaking, our shape is 10 times better than what it was last season. And this is the type of game, probably last season, we probably would have got a draw. So, and we're third in the league. And we've only lost one game. There's no negatives at the moment, really. The possession, and I suppose the way we're playing, you could probably argue, well, it could be better, but what would we rather have? Better football or points on the table?
I would like to have better football and the points on the table. Sorry,
As a Spurs fan, I don't think I can't ask for both. I want points over performance for me. But you know what, Sean? I will say this. As much as I'm agreeing with Sam and Mike, and I do think that this is genuinely one of the best performances of the season, them forwards are not getting away with what they did today. They were committing crimes, war crimes on that football pitch. Son, Kane, and Richarlison, all three of them were awful today. And if Kane didn't get that goal, and if Kane hasn't been getting these goals, which obviously that's what I expect a striker to do, so I'm happy he's getting the goals. He's second top goal scorer in the league. But performance-wise, over the 90, those three were shocking. They were shocking.
The number of times the ball went straight back on, our defence would clear it, and no one could hold it up, and it went straight back in the second half, particularly.
And
that's not control.
Had Kane taken, and for example, and I know Mike, again, it's funny because Mike, you say about Danny Welbeck missing that shot, but Kane had the exact same shot.
He's pony.
And I just feel like, I think a lot of I don't know if it's blame. I think it's more a bit frustration. I think that's going towards Conte more than it should be. And it should be going towards those forwards, because we are getting opportunities. You look in the game, and I mean, two of those chances, Son got the goal. True, he was offside. He still got a goal. But a lot of those chances, and especially against Frankfurt, that was criminal. The Frankfurt game more so. But a lot of these chances, if they take them and they actually finish these chances like I expect them to do, and we're 2-0 up, 3-0 up, and Brighton have to open up more, changes the entire game. So I do think Conte needs to continue playing 3-5-2, but a lot of this anger about not getting goals, not looking good, and scoring a lot of goals needs to be placed on the forwards, because Kane hasn't had a good game. I can't remember the last good game Kane's played this season. Son as well. Even in the Leicester game.
The thing is with Kane, though,
he didn't really need to do much.
As long as Kane's scoring, I don't care if he's playing. I don't care if he's playing badly. As long as he's scoring goals, which are helping us win or getting enough points, you can kind of let the person we're missing
more. That's why he's getting away with it more. Son didn't score in 8. He came off against Leicester, scored a hat-trick, but he was getting those. Everyone was saying what's happened to Son because he wasn't scoring.
Yeah.
He was not having any worse performances than Harry Kane. It's just Harry Kane was scoring, like you said, Mike. So that's why he got away with it.
Yeah, I mean, I think
it's cool.
There was an opportunity when Son was dribbling through, and like many times this season, he doesn't seem confident in dribbling anymore. And that was one of his strengths. He used to carry the ball really well, and he'd find the top corner. But he I don't know what's going on. Obviously, I mean, he's probably one of the players who's suffering the most through the loss of his friend. And there's no doubt about it. When Trony and Son were close, so. I'm prepared to give him a pass on that today.
Yeah, but his form goes back to the beginning of the season. It's not just this one game. It's been happening all season, every game. So
Sid,
Kane
let me
has
ask
scored
you,
goals,
do you-
but both
do you-
of him
let-
and Son's
let
performances.
me just ask the question first. Let me ask. Sid, are you concerned about Son in general in terms of his performances and our forward line over the last few games? Because I look at our forward line and we're missing Kulu. I look at that and I think
100%.
Kulusevski is like a major miss. I didn't realize how much until I've seen how we ain't got that much creativity up there. Richarlison likes to go in behind. Son's touch has been terrible. Even Harry Kane's passing today was not on point.
Oh,
It was just a bit oh God. But when I've seen Kulusevski, he picks the ball up, he can jink right, he can jink left. He's put some great crosses in.
The
He beats
baller.
man, he's got the ball in behind, like De Bruyne. So again, are we missing him? See, what do you think?
I think all three of them have not been firing at all. I think Kulu, when he plays, makes a massive impact because, like you said, he drives at players. He goes in, he goes out, left, right. He takes them on, he dribbles, he crosses the balls in. Kane's not been on form, but like Mike said, as long as he's scoring, he's not going to get any negativity from the fans because he gets there. Like that header on another day, that's going to be hitting him over the top. But it's the way he's controlled it because he knows exactly where that ball's coming and he's controlled it into the back of the net. Son's been horrendous all season. Even that Leicester game, I think Darius said it. Even though he came on as a sub second half, he didn't have the best of games. He got lucky. He scored the 3 goals, but he's just not on it. Sean said it. When he's dribbling, he's just either dribbling too much or he's just head down. He's not even looking anywhere, and he's just going into no man's land. He's losing the ball. Richarlison for me is hit and miss. Like today, why have you come on and then you're coming outside our box and you're trying to do stupid, simple passes without looking and you're putting us straight into jeopardy? Stay up top and do what you got to do. Don't come back because
Well, if he does come back, just put your foot boot through the ball. Just get rid of it. Don't.
Yeah, exactly. So these three, I don't think they're firing at all. I think Son and Kane partnership there's something, I don't know what they're going to keep denying it, but I think there's something not going right. I think Richarlison coming to Spurs has had a massive impact on Son. It's just not happening for him at the moment. And we're lucky that we're third in the league, or now we're second at the third. Yeah, we're third in the league. Yeah, potentially, 4 points behind Arsenal, or 1 point behind Arsenal. But we've not kicked in yet. We're playing in third gear, and we're that close to the top 2. So imagine when we get them all back, all firing, then it's going to be interesting. But in answer to your question, Sam,
you know what? I think
slightly wrong on that table. We're on 20 points as opposed to.
You say we're on 20, aren't we?
That's
I think
updated. That's my fault.
I think we're in a bit of an issue here now. I think we've got a bit of a dilemma coming up because you've mentioned that, and I agree with all of you about Kulusevski. But unless you're playing Kulusevski right wing back, you can't play him in a 3-5-2. So now the dilemma is: do you play 3-4-3 to incorporate Kulusevski, or do you play 3-5-2 to keep that control in the game? Because I liked what I saw today, and I would keep 3-5-2. But then I also completely agree with what you guys said about Kulusevski, and I feel like he needs to come back into the team. So what are you doing? What are you choosing? Are you choosing a player or are you choosing a system? Or do you play him up front?
3-5-2 whilst Kulu's out. Play 3-5-2 until Cooley's come back, and then you play 3-4-3 with Cooley back. Richarlison does not.
Is that what you want to see going forward? Then is 3-4-3 the formation you want to see going forward? Because for me,
3-4-3 when Kulu's fit, 3-4-3. When Kulu's not fit, or one of those strikers aren't fit, then go 3-5-2. But Richarlison does not get into anywhere of that first 11. Our fit strongest 11. Richarlison doesn't. He sits on the bench. He's not good enough.
He's good enough.
He's an impact player. He's an impact player. That is what Richarlison is. I mean, you saw it today. Like, you're not good if you're chasing the game.
He's a number 9 for Brazil. Remember that. So as an impact player, got a decent one. If he's playing for Brazil and he's their number 9 first choice, I'd have him as an impact. But I get what you're saying. I can see exactly what you mean because I don't think he offers as much as Kulusevski does.
Not at all. Creativity-wise, he's got a sweet left foot. He's just got a better football brain, I feel, than Richarlison. Richarlison, I'd keep him on the bench as an impact player. Maybe, as I say, if we've got to rotate it, players are tired and stuff, then yeah, the rotation comes into play. Or if we're playing a team sort of further down the league, then yeah. But like you saw it in the Champions League. It just doesn't. when if we're chasing a result or chasing a goal, when I look at Richarlison coming on, I'm just like, oh, yeah, okay, cool. Maybe we'll get balls in the box and he'll head one.
Let me ask you all the question. I'll start with Sean first. What did you think of Matt Doherty today?
He was more of a Conte wing-back than we've seen all season.
Agree.
He wasn't brilliant, but he was a country mile better than Emerson Royale.
That's my exact answer. So you don't even need to ask me, Sam, because I'm
going to leave Hustler to last. Sid, what's your
leave me to last?
Listen, exactly what Sean said, and you've got to remember this guy was injured. He was our best player towards the end of last season, and even Conte said this guy's on a level. And then he got injured, and it was quite a bad injury. So for him to come back into a game of this magnitude against a team like Brighton at home, I think he done well. He wasn't man of the match, but he did what he had to do. He got into the places. He was firing up and down that line as well. And then when he had to do the tackles and whatever he needed to do, he done that. So today, I think you've got to give that man a bit of respect.
So now I'm going to let this go. I'm going to ask Hustler his opinion, and then I'm not saying anything, and you lot can decide how this is going to go. Hustler, what's your thoughts on Matt Doherty?
My question is, what did Doherty do that Emerson doesn't do?
All right. You know when
he presented the threat in the opposition box. He covered it at the back. He got up and down the wing. He didn't.
Emerson does
get
the same.
Sent off and dive in stupid tackles.
Emerson does not do the same. Emerson does not do the same.
On a special show.
Emerson
talking about half an hour.
Apart from the tackling, which Emerson does, what did Doherty do in an attacking sense that Emerson doesn't?
He got a cross in.
Did he put a cross in?
Yeah, he did put a cross in.
He did.
Yes.
The trouble is, lumbering Kane isn't there to be on the end of it.
But that's the same as when Emerson crosses. You can go on about the crosses, but Emerson puts crosses in as well. They might not be good.
One cross per game. Doherty did more than one today, Michael.
You know,
put your blink.
It's not even the crossing. It's not even the crossing. You know when Session gets on the end of a ball and it's one fullback to another. We never have one fullback to another. Emerson never makes a run to the end of the post or to the back post. He's never there. Emerson also has no attacking brain and defensively isn't even that good anyway, because Martinelli was running through him like it was nothing. Emerson is not like you can critique Doherty or you can not like Doherty and also, not like Emerson. But what you have to admit, Mike, is Emerson is not a right wing back for this system. Doherty's not good enough. Don't get me wrong. He shouldn't be our starting right wing back. I agree with you on that. But he like Sean said, he is a country mile better than Emerson in every sense of the word. I've never seen Emerson put in a last second block like that. The ball, Doherty did not play amazing, but he was better than any Emerson performance this whole season, in my opinion. I don't know one thing that Emerson can do better than Doherty. Honestly, he's gone.
Oh, he's gone.
He's not even. He's done.
Wow.
He's beaten by the power of the argument.
He said, "F you, I'm out. I'm not just defending that." Keep on going, Darius, because I've got my thoughts on it. But
I just think it's the main thing for me was, and like I said, the crossing wasn't even the main thing. The main thing for me was when we're attacking in Session's one side of the pitch and we play that ball into him and he plays the ball straight across the pitch, straight across goal. No one's there trying to run onto it. And Doherty is there. It's always Son. It was Son, Kane and Doherty, 4 of them in the box trying to get the ball. Emerson cannot shoot. I don't see Emerson shoot once. Doherty had a left-footed attempt in the first half. I think it was the first half, Sam.
Yeah.
Where the ball came across the box. Okay,
half
it wasn't
volley,
a great... Yeah, half volley. It wasn't the greatest shot. But Emerson can't even... He's not connecting with the ball. Do you know what I mean? The ball's going out for a throw-in if that's Emerson in that situation. So, for me, I just think that there's nothing that Doherty can do better than Emerson. And I'd rather... let me take that back.
There's nothing Emerson
can do better than Doherty. And I just need people to realise that you can't... How can anybody want Doherty to be dropped now? Even if it's like... Can anyone help me? I can't even.
Listen,
I'm trying to play devil's advocate in my own head, and I can't do it.
You know me. I've talked about players in the past, and I've said I don't believe that they should be playing for Spurs. I've talked in the past about Matt Doherty. I thought he's not good enough. And when he came from Wolves with all this hype about him, he played really well. He was a shadow of his self. He then got up to speed, had injuries, got up to speed again, and he looked like a decent player. He's then had the injury again, as Sean's alluded to. It's taking him a long time to come back. But my only concern about him, he looked like Christian Bale in The Machinist. I don't know what's going on. He looks like he's really drawn in his face. Maybe some worries going on. But for him to come on today, having not played at all, and Conte said what he said about him, I know it's possibly taken out of context, but the man did really well, given the circumstances. He didn't have an amazing game, but what he had to do, that block, just that alone, well done, Matt Doherty. So I'm not gonna give that man no more pelters, because he's obviously had to work really hard to get back to the form that we want to see him at back end of last season. Sid's lagging, apparently.
I'm lagging.
Yeah, you
are
are
a little bit. Sure.
Your mouth moved way after those words came out.
Should we move on from Doherty?
Yeah, I think we should do. Final thoughts on the game today. What's your final thoughts?
Great result. Take it all day. Been a very emotional week. Tough game in Frankfurt on Tuesday. Very poor performance last Saturday. I think we've got that out of our system. I would imagine Conte will be heading to Napoli now to go to the funeral tomorrow. So he's got still some emotion to work through as well. We've got a tough game on Wednesday. I'm at the game, and I'm looking forward to it. Look forward to that game. It will be one that I think we have to win personally. So again, we're taking a victory to that. Darius, your final thoughts on the game today?
Massive result. Huge 3 points to get after losing, our first game of the season, or first Premier League game of the season. Condolences, rest in peace to Gian Piero Ventrone, of course. I also think, again, when you look at it in 6 months' time towards the end of the season, we'll forget maybe or potentially that this game followed this sad news, and to pick yourself. I saw Conte crying his eyes out while there was a minute applause, and I'm thinking, this man he's barely, like you said, Sean, he's barely processed his emotions, and he's there, and everyone in that whole team obviously had a very close relationship to him. So I am commemorating those boys for the performance, and I will. Wednesday, 3 points is, oh God, Wednesday could be the biggest game of our season, depending on how seriously you want to take the Champions League. 3 points is a must.
Very seriously is what I say. Very seriously.
So yeah, 3 points is a must, especially given the luck that we kind of had with results over the last Champions League match day. We have to win Frankfurt. They're the best team for us for the way we play, and they give us the most chances to score. So we need to set a statement in that game.
I believe Frankfurt were beaten by the team at the bottom of the table today.
We've got to smash them, mate. We've got to absolutely smash them. I know that Dortmund did quite well in Bundesliga. That's a different story, but we've got to beat them. Not doing great.
I don't know how well they travel in Europe, but it's always a tough proposition for any team traveling away from home in the Champions League. And I'm thinking, Champions League is a Champions League. We can't just take it for granted that we're in there all the time. We play our strongest team to win that game. We have to win our home games, and we might have to take a point away from home, but I'm hoping if we win our home games, the permutations suggest that we'll be first or second. So win your home games, Tottenham Hotspur. I'm going to beat the last one against Sporting, but I can't make the next one. But Sean, make sure you sing your heart out for that one, because we need to make sure we win. Just to say thanks to those watching. Kevin Murray, as always. Jews Nuts, welcome back. Marlon Bashman in the house. When you coming back on the stream, sir? Who else is in there? Kevin, I've already mentioned. We've got Michael Bennett as well. There's a few people in there. Thank you for watching. Tom Lowry, nice to see you. Nice to see you. JC as well. Telefootball. Yeah, I think that's about it. So, guys, that looks like it's about it. I think that will do us. Get this off the screen. Yeah, we look forward to Judge Jodi tomorrow. I think she's doing that show. I will be on there reviewing today's performance. And it'll be interesting to see other people's perspective on who gets what score tomorrow. But I'll add up the totals of what we got in our score to add up that table.
Oh, do you know, Sam, when that ball rebounded off of Højbjerg's shin and just was going towards the goal, I was going, "Oh, you beauty!"
Yeah, I know.
I didn't even give my score. I don't even want to look at that table. Please don't mention that table.
It's horrible for you at the moment. It's horrible for you. It's horrible. It's horrible.
Not looking good.
But
it's all right. We're working on a Duckworth-Lewis method just to try and
can we have a part 2 after the World Cup? You know, restart it.
Definitely. Hustler, you've just come in time to give your final thoughts on the performance, and we're going to be getting out. So you give your final thoughts, and then we're done.
Final thoughts. Again, 1-0 to the Tottenham away from home. I'll take any win away from home, especially leading up to the World Cup. Getting as much points or as many points as we can on the table. That's what I think is probably the most important thing for us. I think the performances will get better, but at the moment, especially away from home, because we do play differently away from home as opposed to at home. But getting those points where last season we would have either drop points to get, as in drop points from a winning position and we end up drawing, or drop points from a point where we're drawing and we end up losing the game. I think what was happening last season to this season, I think that's the difference now. So yeah, I suppose it's got to carry on. Just carry on getting the points on the table. I'm sure the performances will improve, and on to the next one.
On to the next one, indeed. I think that will do the stream now. Let me just come back onto this part of the show and get the music up. Yeah, thank you for watching. Look out for Judge Jodi tomorrow. We should have a preview show for the Champions League game and a reaction show. I think Sid will be doing that, or Sean, one of the two, or even Darius. It's a lottery. It's a lottery out there. It's a hard world out there, people.
That's why you tune in. You don't know what you're going to get.
Who's our next game?
Frankfurt. I don't know what Premier League is. What is our Premier League game?
Oh, that's a good point. I can have a look quickly in the background. Let's have a quick look whilst it's all live. Keep on.
Everton Saturday.
Everton. There you go.
Ooh, yeah, away. Is that at home?
At home.
That's at home on Saturday. Yeah, and then Frankfurt on Wednesday, obviously.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm hoping that this is going to be the start of another bit of a run. We've had a couple of rocky results. Obviously, the North London derby being the rockiest of rockies. But yeah, I think we're back on track. Looking at the performance, I'm very happy with what I've seen today. So thank you all for watching. Thank you. Come on, you Spurs, and we are out.